in the Zoloft and get your head right.
What's going on, Head Right homies? Welcome to the Zoloft, your Head Right hangout, your sane space from the Global Rubber Room. Doing, 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 doing. Yeah. Hey, well, a groovy Wednesday to y'all. I hope at this leg of the week, this hump day aspect of the week is it just launches you, man. Remember back in the day, we get on our bikes, man. We build them ramps and we line our friends up and jump over them and stuff like that. Hey, may y'all just get launched like Elliot with E.T., man, and just pass the moon and everything, man. So hopefully your week just keeps on getting better. This is what has come across my desk today as I would flush the toilet a couple times. What? Don't look at me in that tone of voice. Let's see, we'll talk a little, at least we'll try to. We'll talk a little bit about the Biden administration, nearly halves Guantanamo Bay, the population there with overnight secret mission. And then we got Bear Grylls faces criticism for calling Mary, mother of Jesus, Palestinian refugee. We're going to talk about Dana White joins board of Facebook's Meta. As Facebook's, okay, so Facebook is Meta now, or has Meta? It's, well, I don't know. Okay. As company eyes major shakeup. Soundgarden's new lead singer attempted a stage dive. Yeah, she should have gave, you got to take lessons from Billy Milano on that. Okay, probably the most epic stage dives ever, Billy Milano. Stage dive, and it didn't end well for her. It almost didn't end well for the people who she jumped on. Anyway, why did insurance companies cancel home fire policies months before this wildfire? Let's talk about it. All right. So let's back it on up. And if you guys are joining on the Instagrams, I see my dude Drummer Dad up in here. That's right, man, the mulatto homage. Drummer Dad, fellow timekeeper up in here. Thanks for tuning in, man. And also y'all on the YouTubes and on the website, bronzeserpentmedia.com, which I hope everybody will become a member there. Let's see, talking about Biden. Let's read a little bit of this from Western Journal. Come on, Western Journal. Actually, man, I did it again. I can't. So when you gonna learn, man, you can't open these pages in Chrome, man. It'll suck up your memory and make your computer like retarded. So let's go ahead and open this up in Safari. Safari is a little bit more friendly. And okay, let's read a little bit of this. President Joe Biden pardons. His pardons and commutations have already made his lame duck transitional period notorious. Now, in what the New York Times described as a secret operation early Monday, he's nearly half the population of the country's most notorious prison for terrorists and terrorism suspects. I wonder if that was like Obama wanting him to do it. Hey, Biden, yeah. do me a solid, man. To release some of my homies from Guantanamo Bay. Maybe that's what it was. But y'all, this isn't one of those issues of where Biden is like, what am I going to do today? Maybe I'll just go out over here and these nice fellows might want to get out and they might want to get a little more exercise beyond what this island offers. It's like, no, he's an evil genius. Oh, this stuff is calculated. This stuff is planned. I know people think that Biden is an inept buffoon and all that sort of stuff. And like I said, watch what you're saying when you're trying to say that Biden is incompetent and he's an inept buffoon and stuff like that. Because what you're saying is that dude was the one who was able to steal the White House away from Donald Trump. Okay, y'all don't do that. Evil genius. Okay, this stuff that the Democrats have been doing, man, calculated. Okay, calculated. It's intentional. People out there, these people are just so dumb and they're not doing their job and they're incompetent. And this is like, no, they're doing their job. Just their idea of what their job is a lot different from yours. And their job is to undermine America. That is what their job is. That is their objective. So they're effective at it, ain't they? Right? They've been very effective at it. And very effective at getting away with doing it. Have been for a while. All right. So this is all part of it. I've been trying to warn Republicans about this, but no, see, Republicans like to stick to the language of they just think that Democrats are stupid. I don't know, for some reason, I guess it makes them feel smart to be able to say that. Democrats are so dumb. Liberals are dumb. They're just so dumb, right? And okay. Well, these dumb people have been able to steal the country and run it, right? Despite how dumb you think they are, and you hadn't really been able to stop it. So I would be careful with that. And because if your approach maybe was different, then and stop underestimating them. Underestimating people isn't a good idea. Okay, even when the Lord who created us doesn't underestimate us. Even the Lord says, hey, they're capable of doing anything. All right, they were able to communicate with one language. Man, if we don't put a stop to this or what they're doing, they're able to do anything. And the Lord rolled in with his posse and put a stop to the building of the Tower of Babylon, or what would be called the Tower of Babylon. Put a stop to it. He doesn't underestimate us. Okay, he's not threatened by us or anything like that. What he's not underestimating is the evils that we'll do to each other to get this ability to achieve whatever goals that they may have. It's like, man, there's nothing they won't do. There's nothing that they can do. But to get to those points, some people going to be highly oppressed to be able to get there. Okay, even when they came to arrest Jesus. Even when they came to arrest Jesus, man, Jesus was like, hey, chill. I mean, he's got a mob of some hot Hebrews, man, ready to get into a knife fight. Okay? And on top of that, he's got 12 legions of angels. He's like, look, man, don't you know that my dad is in 12? He's like, he doesn't underestimate. None of those people could stand against Jesus alone. But even Jesus is like, look, man, as I've told y'all before, man, Jesus could exhale and blow out the sun. It's nothing, it's nothing for him. It's like none of you guys can stand. It would take the world's armies. And even that, it's even pointless to give that measurement. None of y'all could hold me down. All the armies of the earth could not hold me down and lay a shackle on me. Okay, you're only be able to arrest me because I'm letting you. But even Jesus demonstrates like that. I don't underestimate you. Okay, all that to say, the Republican Party does a horrible job, has this horrible habit of underestimating the Democrat Party. They just think they're dumb. Their worldview is stupid. Yeah, they got a really stupid worldview, but they're not exactly stupid on promoting it and getting away with it. While Republicans are, they're so dumb. Okay. So all that to say right here, y'all, Biden doing this is not some, goof or him being incompetent or whichever. So making things more complicated for Trump's presidency, sure.
Yeah, because he almost emptied out Guantanamo Bay during his 4 years. Yeah,
it's a given that that's what they want. And during the course of that, he's letting these people out. They're able to, reconvene with their strategies. All this stuff is, man, it's engineered, it's planned.
Why is he sending them back to the Middle East?
To like I said, to reconvene what it is that they be doing. I mean, I reckon at this point he doesn't have to. Like, dude, it's like a lot of them cats are here.
Yeah, I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? They can just go ahead and blend in with a sleeper cell here. Matter of fact, we don't have sleeper cells anymore. They're all woke now.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? They've got plenty of sympathizers here. We got these so-called pro-Palestinian people and all that sort of stuff. I'm pretty sure they'll feel right at home here. You don't have to send them back to the Middle East. But they can go ahead and I guess reconvene it, being whatever they were lieutenants under whoever their commanders were there in their so-called freedom fighter organizations, whatever they want to be in. That's what it's all about, is for them to be able to reconvene with whatever it is that they're doing. But it's sad, man, that this is the stuff that they're able to get away with. They are master manipulators of the law, and they are able to make the compelling case. And the thing is that their case isn't compelling because it's intelligent. It's compelling because it's effective at vilifying. vilifying the opposition to make the opposite, their opposing factors look more evil than the people and the so-called principles that they have, and they get away with it. Hey, that was pointed out in the first pages of the Bible. Here comes the devil, shows up, as a serpent, and there's definitely more to it than that, but we're not exactly talking metaphors or anything like that. It's deeper than him just showing up as a serpent. But the bottom line is he showed up as something that you're supposed to basically get out of the way of, right? But this serpent, this thing that you're pretty much supposed to avoid, was able to go ahead and counsel them, so to speak. How? By making God look like somebody worse.
Yeah.
That's how. Okay? The strategy of the Democrat Party is full on satanic. It follows the same model of Satan, whose name means the accuser. And he was able to sucker them and get them to do something evil. He shows up, as something like, hey, I should be questioning this. Something's going on here. But really quick, he was able to get them to see God as something worse. Right? So he was able to sucker them into giving death dominion over them. Right? And there's no excuse for it. None. It's like, dog, y'all shouldn't have been that easily suckered, man. It really should not have been that easy. It shouldn't have been that easy. Right? And Democrats follow the same formula. It's easy, man. It's easy. It's easy. And the sad part of it is the big difference between Republicans and, of course, needless to say, is that God didn't help Satan make it easy. All right. Republicans help Democrats. They help them. I'm particularly talking about mainstream Republicans, not all Republicans, but mainstream. They make it. They help it. They help Democrats do it. All right, they help Democrats with how easy it is for them to do what it is that they do. So once again, y'all, Biden doing this isn't incompetence. This stuff is calculated. They know what they're doing. Anyway, let's see what else we got.
I just wish we knew why.
Huh?
I just wish he would have given a statement on it at least. He did it in secret with the Department of Defense.
Yeah, look. Now, I think that's probably the of course he did it in secret. But who is the Democrat Party? They're an invisible empire. All right, the Democrat Party that founded the KKK, the invisible empire. That's who they are. Of course, he's going to do this stuff in secret. All right, the invisible empire, which is now is now known by another name, which y'all might have heard of, called the Deep State.
Yeah.
All right, it's the same thing. It's a new name. That's how the invisible empire maintains being the invisible empire.
Right.
But it is still, but the thing is a big part of the strategy of the invisible empire is to do things in plain sight.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of surprising that Biden would do this, cloaked, if you will.
He did attempt to do it in 2023, August of 2023.
Okay, yeah.
But Congress had a problem with it. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was responding to Chuck Schumer in his own words that he used for the J6ers, saying it's shameful that these guys are being sent back to the Middle East. She's like, we still have a problem with this as Congress.
Yeah. Yeah, and okay, so y'all, once again, Democrats, they've got their own idea of what their job is supposed to be. When Republicans are saying that they need to do their jobs, you hear that all the time. They need to get in there and they need to do their jobs. You don't want them to do their jobs, dude. They got a totally different idea of what their jobs is, what their job is. Okay, it is not reflective of the Constitution. It's not really reflective of their office. They're in there to undermine America. It's not about the common defense and the general welfare. It's not about. They got a totally different idea what all that stuff means. Okay, it's a perverted idea, and you can see that clearly when you've got Schumer, who can't seem to make the correlation. He's like in Sonny Hostin's boat, trying to refer to January 6th as the Holocaust.
Yeah,
I mean, really, imagination land, y'all. It's imagination land. That's why I keep trying to tell mainstream Republicans, Y'all trying to reason with these people. You think that you can beat these people with reason. These people don't, that's not their language. That's not how they process things. They're given over to imaginations. They have a totally twisted, a 180-degree view of what we understand as reality. They're in imagination land. It's imagination land to assume that January 6th was a Holocaust, anything like a Holocaust. And these people think that they're not anti-Semitic. And by making that statement is a total insult to the Jews. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Dude, how dare you make such a comparison for real? You know? But in their minds, they're the champion for the Jews. I mean, Chuck Schumer is as far as I'm concerned, is one of the biggest anti-Semites, self-loathing Jews since freaking George Soros.
Right.
And so you got people like Schumer making this comparison about January 6th and gonna express some sort of disgust. It's like, dude, do you realize what happened? And by the way, when you have these idiots out there, oh man, don't get me started. Oh, you know, because they brought up people out there waving the Confederate flags
Chuck
and stuff
Schumer
like that.
tweeted about it.
It's like you Republicans. This way, see, that's what I'm saying. When I talk about how Republicans help the Democrats do the damage that they do, that's a prime example. I'm telling you guys that Republicans, for all the butthurt they've been doing for the past 4 years, man, they're the ones who helped Biden get in there. They helped Biden get into office more than Democrats did. They helped Biden get into the office more than the deep state did. They don't really know that. They don't get it. But their pride won't let them get it. But they're more culpable for Biden being able to steal the White House than anybody else. Okay, when you got these people out there, Republican voters waving a Confederate battle flag, or even waving a supposed Confederate national flag, whichever. You know, and y'all can debate amongst yourselves about what the implications of those flags. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that they're waving the flag of the enemy. They're waving the flag of the Democrat Party. That's how smart the Democrat Party is that the Democrat Party is able to get Republicans to wave their flag.
Yeah.
While Republicans think that Democrats are stupid, Republicans are out there waving the flag of the Democrat Party. Okay, the Confederacy, like I said, did take over. And Republicans don't even realize it, right? When you got some of these Southern pride Republicans out there, the South will rise again, the Confederacy will rise again. What, the Democrats? Y'all gave them that. You know, so you got Schumer out there who's able to make this claim about people out there who's waving around Confederate flags. It was like, dude. You know, look how easy Republicans made. Look how easy they made it, for people to assume that the parties switch sides.
Yeah.
That's why Democrats are able to get away with this stuff, man. That's why.
Yeah, Schumer tweeted that out, that how it's shameful that Trump is going to pardon these people who were out there carrying the Confederate flag and having Nazi propaganda symbols on their clothing. He claims this in a tweet, and Marjorie Taylor Greene just overlooks it, doesn't even respond to it at all.
Mainstream Republicans, they don't know what to say about this. They don't know what to do. Because most Republicans, mainstream Republicans, they don't really know who they are. They don't really know why they vote Republican, man. They don't really know. Okay, they're just opposed to Democrats, but that just because they're opposed to Democrats doesn't really make them Republicans.
Yeah,
it doesn't really make them conservative. Okay, it's they don't really know who the Democrats are. They really don't. You can't if you're out there waving the flag of your enemy. You can't really know. Like, so, but that's what we're up against, y'all. And I'm trying to tell you, if the Republican Party doesn't figure this out, but they think that their salvation has come. They got Trump as president and everything's going to be all good now. No, it's going to go back in a circle because you're setting up for the same problems, right? Let me see. What is this? Bear Grylls facing criticism for calling Mary Mother of Jesus Palestinian refugee. Okay, so long story short, I'll try anyway. This guy, Barry Grylls, He's making some sort of, and you know what? Let me just go ahead and I'll read the article. I'll read a little bit of it. British adventurer Grylls is facing criticism after referring to Mary, the mother of Jesus, as a Palestinian refugee in a Christmas message shared on social media. The 50-year-old outdoorsman posted a message on X, formerly Twitter, delivering a Christmas reading in which he described Mary as a young, poor, and no doubt terrified Palestinian girl. In these next few days, billions of us around the world celebrate, this is what he's saying, celebrate the birth of a Middle Eastern refugee who 2,000 years ago changed the course of the world forever. He said in an original post, "Let me tell you some of his story. This is just a short extract from the near beginning of the adventure. When Miriam, a young, poor, and no doubt terrified Palestinian girl, gives birth in a rundown animal pen to a baby who was foretold for hundreds of years, yet she, thousands actually, yet she was not alone, and she never would be, because this was the moment that God Almighty broke into our fallen world in person. To many of us, it is undoubtedly the greatest story ever told." Okay? And the message drew swift backlash from critics, including the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism, which responded by saying Mary was a Jewish woman from Judea under Roman rule. I reckon there's lots of Jews in this group.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you agreed that she was Jewish.
I know.
Are you guys you're getting there, man? You're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. You're gonna realize that Jesus is a Jew. Yes, our high priest and king is a Jew. All right, we're one step closer.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
We have Jews defending the New Testament.
That's what I'm talking about. Come on now, we gonna get there. Hey, this guy may be doing some good work here. I don't know. I give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
He's part of that chosen, production, right?
He's not part of it. He helps it out.
Okay, helps it out. I don't know, maybe some sort of technical. I don't know. I don't watch the show. I reckon a lot of y'all know why. But hey, like I said, I give credit where credit is due. The region wasn't called Palestine. Okay, so let me see. It goes on to say the region wasn't called Palestine until 100 years later, when the Jews were exiled, and Emperor Hadrian renamed it Syria Palestinia after the Bar Kokhba revolt to try to sever the Jewish connection to the land. The group retweeted. Okay, let me just stop right there. Well, hold on. Yeah, okay, I think you guys get the gist of it. All that to say, y'all, both sides of this debate or this discourse, whether it's the campaign against anti-Semitism or Bear, both of them are right and both of them are wrong. If I may, let me tell you why. They're both wrong because both of them are trying to come at this from a historical narrative. Not that the historicity is something to be ignored. The problem is that when you have people that rely on accounts outside of Scripture to assume to fill in the blanks, or to assume to look scholarly, or to try to make things seem more authentic or whichever, you're already going to go wrong. Okay, I'll give you an example. Of people who try to rely on historical accounts rather than relying and trusting in the historicity that's written in the Scriptures. Okay, when you have people out there who try to make themselves look scholarly, or try to make their what they espouse about the Bible seem more authentic, when they're able to give you details of like the Roman execution and stuff like that, when they say that, well, according to history, Jesus wasn't pierced through his hands, he was pierced through his wrist. That's how they did it in Roman executions. And when you look at the physiology of it, a person couldn't be sustained on the cross by having a nail through his hands. So they try to make themselves look like they know something about anatomy and physiology, to make themselves look even more authentic, to say that the piercing would have to be between the radius and ulnar so the bone structure could support him on the cross and all that other garbage. Okay, when the Bible flat out tells you, the Word of God tells you, and when you break it down in the Greek, and when you break it down in the prophetic implications of the Hebrew, when it was written in the Old Testament, or prophesied, when you look at those scriptures, when it's talking about they pierced my hands, they pierced my feet, when you break down the words, it means the hand, not the wrist, not the ankles, but his hands. Okay, Thomas, come here, boy. Jesus didn't say, put your finger in the wrist where the wounds are. He didn't say that. He said, put it in my hands, Thomas, put it in my hands. When you break it down in the Greek and the Hebrew, it's going to refer, like, say, for instance, I think the word in hand is kaf, I think. And it refers to the palm of the hand. When you break down, it's something that's hollowed out, something that's concaved, the palm of the hand. So even the prophetic implications are telling you that the piercing is going to be through the hand. And in the Greek, it's the same thing. It's like something that you grasp with when you're referring to this hand in the Greek. All right. But you got these people out there trying to make themselves look like they're really they're bona fide. They're really in the know. They're really scholarly, and because they're saying that he was pierced through his wrist. So all that to say, you got these people out there who try to rely on flexing historical narratives to make themselves to make their point seem valid, to make themselves look valid about what they're talking about. Here's the deal with Jesus being a Palestinian. Bear is not exactly wrong. And the campaign against anti-Semitism, they're not exactly wrong with their discourse against him with this. They're not exactly wrong either. Palestine, y'all, is a pejorative. It's not like an official, it's not like a registered location, if you will. Jesus, in this location, he would be a Palestinian like the same way, like if you're, when you're from a certain part of town or something like that, like say for instance, when we lived in California, if you lived in like Venice, a certain part of Venice Beach, man, they called a certain place in Venice Beach Ghost Town, right? It's not, but that's what we knew it as, and I forget what they would call, I know it would be something like, I don't remember what they would call. It's been a long time, but if you're from that certain part of town, and that has like this nickname, and people know it as that certain part of town, they'll call you kind of like a demonym of that town. You know what I'm saying? So Jesus was in Palestine. All right. And what folks need to understand about this, what makes it biblically correct to address him as a Palestinian, is this. Samson is an archetype of Christ. Just like Jesus has several archetypes that paint his profile. Moses, Joseph, David, Noah, Samson, Absalom. You got these you have these people that are giving you a profile of Jesus's build, his complexion, his hair, all these things. The Bible actually gives you a description that you have to piece together, and you'll see, and you have to recognize who his archetypes are. Well, Samson is one of Yeshua's archetypes, as well as King David. Now, what did Samson say upon dying? Samson said, "Let me die with the Philistines." Philistia, or the Philistines, is where we get the word. Actually, we get the word Philistine from the word Palash, which is where you get the word Palestine. Philistine and Palestine are basically the same thing. Okay? And when you break down the word Philistine, and like I said, it comes from the word Palash, as in Palestine, the word refers to wallowing in what's the wallow? It's wallowing. right? Wallowing in grief. Wallowing is basically means butthurt. You notice that Palestinians are always complaining. They think they're entitled to stuff like that, and they're always making themselves out to be victims. Yeah, they carry that tradition because that's what the word means. All right, it means to wallow, to migrate, to just go from here to there, just complaining and just wallowing and just expressing your grievances. That's what they've done, huh? They wandered into this territory and they want to complain from there, acting like they're being treated oppressively by Jewish apartheid and all that sort of stuff. Isn't that what they're doing? Are they not living up to the Philistine namesake or what? Okay, so the Jews, that including Mary, that including Jesus, that including Joseph, the Jews that were living in this area was Palestine. Why was it Palestine? Okay, and Jesus proved that they were in Palestine because remember, Samson was in Palestine. He was in with the Philistines. He said, let me die with the Philistines. What did he die doing? Samson died destroying the temple of Dagon. Who is Dagon? Dagon is the fish god, right? He's basically he's Aquaman or whatever, man. He's a big mermaid or merman or whichever. That's the temple of Dagon. Okay, Jesus himself shows up and has the 4 and 5,000 sit in an area of what? Palestine. And what did Jesus do? He proved that, look, man, Dagon, who is the god who is worshipped here, Philistines, the god Dagon is a false god. I'm going to show you who the real God is. Since you guys qualify him as a fish god, well, here's some fish for you. You see it? You see in the correlation? The reason why Jesus busted out with them fish, all right? He busted out with them fish also for the same reason as that. What did the Hebrews say? When we was in Egypt, right? They complained when they got led out of Egypt. They got led out of their oppression. When they got led out of their oppression, they said, when we was in Egypt, we had fish. And Jesus like, man, I give you all the fish that you can handle. I'm here to rescue you, man. I'm a rescue mission. All right? This Exodus 2.0, baby. So let's do them fish. And like I said, Dagon is no real God. You want to see a God handle some fish? Here you go. All right. Why was he doing that? Because he was in Palestine where they worship Dagon. All right. So it's not incorrect to refer to Jesus as a Palestinian, considering where he was. All right. Was he like ethnically a Palestinian or anything like that? I don't want to say, let me rephrase that. Sorry, not ethnically. Okay, ethnic refers to pagans. That's what a pagan is. A pagan is where you get the word ethnic comes from the word ethnos, and ethnos means pagan. When you say ethnic, what you're saying is a person whose God or a nation whose God is not the God of Israel. That's what ethnic actually means. Okay, a nation that is not Israel, a nation whose God is not the God of Israel. So Jesus is showing it is not national. He's not nationally Philistine, a Philistine. All right, a Philistine, if you will. Sorry, I keep saying this word weird. But he's born in the area. That is given as a pejorative. Why is it given as a pejorative? What are Palestinian? If anybody's wondering, what is a Palestinian Jew? This is what a Palestinian Jew is. And you learn this from King David. Okay, it even goes back further than that. Because remember, y'all, the Philistines come from the Egyptians. What does Egypt mean? According to the word of God. And God tells you what Egypt means. He tells you what it means in the very first commandment. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, the house of slavery. That is what Egypt means. It means the house of bondage, the house of slavery. Okay? The oppressors. Or oppression, the embodiment of oppression. Okay? The Philistines are in the lineage of Egypt, or Mizraim, according to the Hebrew. All right? The Philistines come from them by way of the Casluhims. All right? But this is all coming from Egypt. So they come from the lineage of oppression. Keep that in mind. They come from the lineage of oppression. They're oppressors. Even when they're victims, they're oppressors because they have an oppressive victim mentality. You see it today, don't you? Right? So, the Philistines, King David said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? He associates uncircumcision with Philistines, with the Palestinians. All right? He made that address to them long time ago. Now, the pejorative that's given to the Jews as Palestinian Jews, the reason why they're called Palestinian Jews is because they were now subject of the uncircumcised. That's why. Okay? The Jews were under Roman rule. They've been under Roman rule. They've been under Greek rule. They've been under the rule of the uncircumcised. That's why they're referred to as Palestinian Jews. Okay? So it's not incorrect. It's not incorrect to say Palestine biblically. It doesn't legitimize Palestine as any sort of nation or something that's registered as legitimate territory. But biblically, the pejorative stands because the Jews were ruled by the uncircumcised Palestinian Jews. All right. So anyway, now I reckon that was more biblically squared and makes more sense than these people who are trying to argue over the historicity of these things outside of Scripture, or trying to use what's outside of Scripture to validate, to give that the stamp of approval over what the Word of God says. All right. So anyway, just something for your consideration. What else we got here? Dana White joins board of Facebook's Meta as company eyes, and of course, I'd like to hear you guys' or see you guys' thoughts on these things. And actually, before I go on to the next article, thank you guys for joining. If you're joining on the Instagrams, I see that who's joined. We got Aspect Photography, right on, Lainey Higgs, LRC2C823, Patriot Dad of USA, Steve-O. And so thank you guys for joining and tuning in on the Instagram. Hope you guys become members at bronzeserpentmedia.com, and thank you if you already have. And on the YouTubes, you guys rock. Thank you guys for maintaining being some head right homies. And thank you guys on bronzeserpentmedia.com for listening to your favorite debonair dilettante. Let's see. We got this article right here, so make sure.
Wait, we got a YouTuber saying hello to the Instagrammers watching trains go by. Says, "What's up, Instagram?"
What's up? That's right, man. Say you gotta say what's up to your respective hoods. What's up, neighbors in the cyber hood?
We got any Instagrammers who are going to give a shout out to the YouTubers?
Yeah, man. Give you a shout. Say what's up, man. Okay, so let me read. Open up page and okay. So Dana White, longtime CEO of the Ultimate Fighting Championship (UFC) and a close political ally of President-elect Donald Trump, is joining the board of Facebook parent. Get out of my way, Dad. Joining the board of Facebook parent Meta. Just 2 weeks before Trump takes office for the second time, the move was announced just a day before Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced sweeping changes to the platform's content. Hey, by the way, we got this Ultimate Fight CEO and Zuckerberg. I guess they're going to be joining tables on that one. What's the word on the fight between Elon Musk and Zuckerberg?
Yeah, good question.
I'm just asking. I don't care. But I mean, it's Dana White. I mean, obviously, did you guys just happen to talk about that? I don't know. Anyway,
right?
Let me see. And matter of fact, there really should. It's like if both these cats really care about helping to fix America, yeah, knock it off with the fight business. Y'all need to talk about some more constructive stuff.
I think he's got a lot of testosterone going through him because he's been doing martial arts. Zuckerberg, converting to a reptile to a human being. He seems like he's a little bit more human now, maybe almost going populist and not so lefty lizard weirdo.
Yeah, and self-defense, it pretty much means just that sometimes you got to defend yourself from yourself.
Yes.
And maybe he had to do some internal butt kicking to realize, like, look, man, I've been wrong.
Yep.
Because we had these martial arts, events, called Pride Fight and stuff like that. Pride's not supposed to be a part of martial arts, man.
Yeah.
You're supposed to burn that stuff out of you. The real fix for doing that is Jesus himself.
Amen.
But martial arts can be another way that you express your talents that he gives you and whatnot. But at any rate, more on that in a bit. Let me see. The move was announced just a day before Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced sweeping changes to the platform's content moderation strategy, including a move toward the use of an X-style community notes feature as opposed to fact checkers, many of whom have long been accused of engaging in censorship and political bias. Zuckerberg, who recently met with President-elect Trump, at his Mar-a-Lago estate after a rocky relationship during his first term, announced the news in a Facebook post Monday. Dana is the president and CEO of UFC, and he has built it into one of the most valuable, fastest growing, and most popular sports enterprises in the world. The Facebook founder said of White, who oversees a number of additional business ventures outside of the UFC, I've admired him as an entrepreneur and his ability to build such a beloved brand. Okay, now with Zuckerberg, Zuckerberg hasn't repented as far as I know. Okay, he makes an excuse that he was made to do these things, but it's like...
by the government.
Yeah, like by the government. I don't think they really had to twist your arm to do this sort of stuff. All right, you were already in that camp. You were already leaning that way.
Yep.
So I don't think it was. I mean, and the whole time that they were. Matter of fact, while you're saying that the government made you do it, weren't you like hauled into hearings like many times and admonished for doing this sort of stuff?
Yep.
I mean, maybe that stuff was a cover up because it's not like they did anything except just wave their finger at you and stuff like that. You've been a bad boy, and he's like, oh yeah, we'll look into it, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, you could have said right there, man, look, I'm being made to do these things. It's like while you guys are sitting here and telling me that I'm doing something bad, you, the government, are the ones making me do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe Zuckerberg didn't want to come up missing or something like that. I don't know. The deep state can do those things. I understand. But at the same time, man, your worldview was reflective of theirs. Mm-hmm. And I don't hear you repenting of that. So you're still suspect.
Yeah.
Maybe you're trying to cover your behind or something like that. Maybe you're afraid, Trump's going to have you thrown in jail. I don't know. I don't know if Trump is going to go after any of these people, which is really sad. Because I mean that's part of the healing, man. You need to show that these people ain't going to be able to do what they're going to do anymore. And anybody else who tries, man, they're going to go to jail. That needs to be done, man. You're supposed to be the chief law enforcement officer of the United States. Mobilize the forces to go and round these people up, put them in jail for treason. All right. But so Zuckerberg, it sounds like to me that if he's saying that he's gonna make sweeping changes concerning the moderation strategy, and is able to rectify what these algorithms do, well, him and Elon Musk definitely don't need to be fighting. Elon, according to you, this algorithm and stuff like that, it's not beatable.
Yeah, some of the hidden code from basically the enemy, some of the hidden code in Twitter, Elon has said, I cannot get to it. And has talked about scrapping Twitter, but really, you don't want to have to do that.
Yeah, that's a huge undertaking. That would definitely be a huge...
You have to rewrite all of it.
Yeah, that's a huge undertaking. I get it. But it doesn't sound like Zuckerberg. He's not giving over that language. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and rectify it. Yeah, maybe because he knows a little something about it. Maybe because he helped write it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say Zuckerberg has fully been on board with throttling people like you and censoring people like you and hiding your content.
Yeah. I mean,
To the point where you just shut it down because you were like, this is stupid. It's a waste of time.
yeah, it was pointless for me to be on Facebook, y'all. Before I left Facebook, I had over 100,000 page followers, over 100,000. By now my trajectory, I've been well over a million, But it stopped growing. You know, like what, 7 years ago?
2017, right after they all promised, all the tech guys, the tech industry, along with the Democrats in the government, the deep state, right after they promised that they will start doing this because Trump won.
Yeah, my page didn't grow. I had a verified account, you know, none of that stuff helped. It stopped. It would not grow anymore. And people didn't see my content. Okay? But, so I mean, this stuff was done on purpose. It was deliberate. And there was just no point for me to be there anymore. It was wasting too much of my time, like trying to figure out a way to promote and all that sort of stuff. You know, it was taken away from making the content to promote in the first place. There's just no point to be there. So Zuckerberg helped put these things in place. Maybe he knows how to undo it. And him and Elon probably need to talk. You know, maybe he's had these conversations with Jack Dorsey. Maybe Jack Dorsey's like, you know, they put together something and maybe him and Zuckerberg traded some ideas on how to do it. I don't know. It's possible. You know, Dorsey's just been gone.
Oh, yeah. Well, he has, what is it called? He started a liberal Twitter. Oh, I forgot what it's called. I want to say Blue Sky, something like that. It's just, basically, it's just a bunch of pedophiles on there and some angry, bitter liberals.
Okay, yeah. And,
that's all it is.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it, and there's probably a reason for that.
Yep.
It's probably just,
I have a question. I always wondered why Zuckerberg basically killed his own business with the fact checkers and the throttling of people who had popular accounts who drew crowds like you and there were smaller people who were just becoming known, like during 2015, 16. Why did Zuckerberg just kill his own business by throttling you guys and censoring you guys and hiding you guys so that the only thing that's left on Facebook is a bunch of grandmas? He killed his business. I don't understand it.
Oh, because it's, hey, y'all, remember how people say that, you know, America's becoming less and less religious. No, it's not. America's more religious than it's been in a long time. Religion doesn't make you holy. And this stuff is a religion to people. Okay, they're willing to make sacrifices to promote. They're perverts, man. Perverts. All right? It's worth it. Look, these people have the resources. You know, there's people out there. If they could hurt you somehow, of course, and they could get away with it, of course they're gonna do it. Well, some of these people, man, they really don't like our worldview, and they have the resources, they have the wherewithal to be able to do damage to other people. You know, even if they'll cut off their nose to spite their face, man. They'll do stuff like that. You know, they'll cut off their arm to keep their finger from hurting. You know, they'll do stuff like that. It's dumb, I know, but they can afford to be dumb. They got the money to do it. So, these people, there's no rational reason. At the root of it is pride. How do you rationalize pride? You know, these people hate it is what they think, and they think that their worldview is what should be the thing to abide by, and they have the resources to make it. They got all these people gathered on their platforms and stuff like that, and if they want to, you know, conduct how it's going to be run and silence other people, yeah, they can. You know, so that's just what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else we got here. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been shadow banned, you know, from these people for, you know, I'm one of the earliest ones, one who's been shadow banned the longest, and the worst. And so, evidently, there's a fix for it. You know, it can be fixed. And the thing that saddens me is that, you know, even if this stuff was fixed, it probably still wouldn't help my brand. I hope I'm wrong. You know, that's in the Lord's hand. And when the Lord decides that, you know, it's like, yeah, we'll go ahead and surface you. You know, then that's the way it'll be. But, you know, it's not in their hands. It's in the Lord's hands. Let's see, what else we got?
Were there any Instagrammers who shouted out the YouTubers?
Ooh, let's see. I don't have the page because I'm a horrible host and whatever. Okay. Not that I can see. Come on, y'all, don't be stuck up. Let me see. Aspect photography. Forgive me if I'm late getting back to you on this, man, because like I said, I don't really watch. I can't really see the chat streams when I'm doing this because I derail really easy, so I don't have them open. I just open them back up just to say hi to y'all and I close them back, or I go back to my articles page. But Aspect of Photography asks, where can we tune in to hear more of Zoe's teaching? I'm more hosting, if you will. BronzeSerpentMedia.com. If you tune in there, and you'll see my pages. You got the Zopium Den, you got the Zoloft. The Zopium Den is where I do my Bible study, and the Zoloft is where I opine on the news of the week. So hopefully you'll tune in there. Aspect Photography, it'd be good to see you there. German Dad says got hit by proverbial hayover here in Louisiana. But great show tonight. Oh, okay, he's got a hangover. Layover. That's probably what you meant to say. Layover. All right, man. I'm glad you tuned in. Safe travels, happy landing, and all that good stuff. Let's see. We were at this page back up. Soundgarden. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna get in some trouble saying this right out the gate. Soundgarden. When I go back and I listen to albums like Bad Motorfinger. I did like Louder Than Love. That's when I first heard Soundgarden. Is Louder Than Love, and I think that was probably my favorite album by Soundgarden, but. Even though I like Soundgarden, they're really overrated. Okay, Soundgarden is a pretty overrated band. To me, sorry. Like Jane's Addiction. I was a big fan of Jane's Addiction. Particularly Nothing Shocking. But overrated. As far as players go, particularly, Dave. Dave Navarro, I think, is a great guitarist. Steve Perkins, great drummer. Eric Avery, he was a good bass player for them. All right, solid bass player for them. Perry Farrell,
he has a unique voice, though.
Yeah, when you hear Perry singing, you know it's him.
Yep.
That's for sure. And Perry is just he's a schmuck.
Yeah.
He's one of those. I mean. One of these people that just thinks he's above the law.
Yeah, he does.
He just really does. He's and it's just weird because these people they act like they're supposed to be one with the people and down to earth and all that sort of stuff. But it's okay for him to go in and treat waitresses like garbage and stuff like that. He says so. Mm-hmm. He says I like doing it. I like it because I'm a rock star and I can get away with it. He's serious. So
I cannot believe that man found a wife.
Yeah, but overrated though. Like Soundgarden, I think is. I think it's probably. Maybe it's one of those things where you have to see them, live. Sometimes you see a band live and it's a whole different experience than hearing them on hearing the recordings of them, and vice versa. Sometimes sometimes you see a band live and say, man, they're not that good, but heck, they do a great job in the studio. People have said that about Led Zeppelin. Said I wouldn't see them live, and they're sloppy and all that sort of stuff. But hey, in the studio, man, they're like, they make some great records in the studio. So Soundgarden, after Chris Cornell had, died, I haven't really heard anything about them, like trying to keep on going with a new singer or anything like that. But if y'all gonna come out. If you're going to come out, and you're going to have a new lead singer, man, let me just say y'all could have done better than this. What's her name? Shania Shepherd. Now, in her wheelhouse, y'all, I've heard some of her music. Seems like she does more, I don't want to say easy listening. It could be like soul. It could be like, some indie kind of, not indie pop, but more, indie, easier listening music and stuff like that. maybe some like neo soul kind of stuff or some R&B. And I've heard a couple of her songs, and she's really good. She's good there. I don't know, not sure if I care how she came to have this relationship with Kim Thayil. And they're like, hey, how about you be the lead singer for Soundgarden? Or it's actually, I don't think she's gonna be I don't think she was meant to be. I don't think they're trying to put her out there as the lead singer of Soundgarden or New Dragons, right? I think they just did an anagram of their name and did like a one-off gig or something like that for a charity event or whichever. And I mean, she's done some other performances with them. She's played other events with them, and where it was better in a very controlled environment, by the way. You know, where she did, so where things could be polished and reproduced for playback and stuff like that. So it looked a little better, but it's still not the right fit. Okay, still not the right fit. But at the event, man, she comes out, she gets ready to start singing. I think it was the first song. And I think maybe they were opening up with Outshine. Yeah, I think they opened up with Outshine, man. And she walked out there and went to go take the microphone and just knocked the microphone out of the cradle, you know, and she's, you know, making sure that she does all her swag and stuff like that.
Oh, goodness.
You know, before she walks up to the microphone, she's sassy, man. She the new grunge singer. She get ready to go take the microphone, knocks it out of the cradle. Oops. Got to bend over, got to pick it up. Make sure she gets it before her lyrics start, before the verse starts. Hold out, I gotta feel it. It's like, okay, yeah, that came in awkward, right? So it didn't look good. And that hair weave was awful. I mean, extensions, you know, looking up there, it's like, well, how you gonna have to? No, it just looks bad. It's like you looking like you're trying to dress apart, and it's.
It wasn't even cute in the 2000s when everybody had those. No, stop it.
It's wrong, right? So, and then she gonna try to do a stage dive. Girl, don't you try to do no stage. and look, this is Seattle, I think. All them liberals out in that audience, you know, I bet them same people out there. I bet you a lot of them was on Twitter talking about Black Lives Matter. Not that day. Not that day. She went to go do her stage dive and they just parted. Woo! They just stepped out. They sidestepped like real quick. Yeah, Black Lives Matter. Not on this one.
Not in Seattle.
Not in Seattle. So, but anyway, they moved on out of the way and and just kind of like came back in and said, "Oh, let us help you up there, right here." And she had the nerve to say, "I knew I was too heavy for you, you know, MFers, right?" So okay, and try to save face and just go ahead and keep on doing the show from there. And the sad part of it is, and to even show you just how much of a joke the whole Black Lives narrative is, none of the players went to go see how she was. They kept on playing the song and just turned around. Oh, let me check the memo. Let me make sure my volume is good on my amplifier. Kim Thayil's over there. You know, it's like,
I saw nothing.
Yeah, I didn't see nothing. You know, and yeah, Black Lives Matter. So, like I said, y'all, it's not the right fit. You know, it's just not the right fit for it. And her being a female, it's not really an issue. Her being black is not really an issue, or you know, her being chunky and whatnot. Is none of that stuff. You know, for hard rock, I think a male voice is a better fit. You know, for hard rock. I mean, come on, man, it's testosterone-driven music. You know, it's you know,
right.
I'm not saying that, you know, so there's some women who can do good. Like there's that band Kitty, you know, Kitty been around for a little bit. You know, they're pretty good. But you know, when I'm listening to some hard rock, you know, when I'm listening to some hard rock, man, it's you know, that's for the dudes, you know. But that's not really, an issue, of her filling in, or her the style of music that she does, or and whether she's black, or whether she's white, or any nationality in between, doing the style of music that I guess is her forte. That's that, like she's coming from, it sound like more like a more R&B, neo soul kind of that's you can still have the range and the scope to be able to adapt, and still apply that well to even to grunge. I mean, Chris Cornell had a pretty soulful voice too. He made it work, So whether her nationality, that's not an issue, or her genre, it's not an issue. Heck, man, take William Duvall. The singer for Alice in Chains. William Duvall does a great job. And he's done a great job not only of recapping and carrying on the sound that Soundgarden had when Staley, was alive, but in terms of fashioning new songs and maintaining the Alice in Chains brand, he's done an excellent job as far as that goes. LaJohn Witherspoon, Seven Dust. He's his you can listen to his voice and tell it's totally more R&B, gospel influenced, soul, that he brings to the table with Seven Dust and makes it work. The heck of good. Once again, those things aren't an issue of why she's not a fit for Soundgarden. She's just herself. She's not able to translate those things into there as well. Her on an individual basis, it's just not a fit. But once again, y'all, I think Soundgarden, or for this event, or for this leg of whatever it is that they're doing, New Dragons. Like I said, I don't think she's meant to be a permanent, and I'm sure she definitely will not be after this. She definitely won't be. But in terms of what they're going to be doing next, I really don't know. I haven't really followed Soundgarden. Audio Slave, I didn't get into Audio Slave because, Morello's a communist, and he's just a left-wing nut. Spoiled, rotten, entitled, brat,
yes.
Who doesn't understand. It's like, dude, for all this talk that you talk about, being communist and how evil America is, you sure do enjoy the opportunity that you got to make it here.
Yeah.
You didn't go try to make it big in any of these countries that have this socialist model or communist model that you love so much. You did that here.
Yeah.
All right. You and your friends from System of a Down and all that sort of stuff, you enjoy that stuff here. So you're a bunch of hypocrites. So Audio Slave, I didn't really, like I said, Soundgarden, I didn't keep up with them much. Like after, I've been Bad Motorfinger was, it was cool, but Louder Than Love was pretty much all I needed. And, after that,
Mark Mealy says Bon Scott voice or Brian Johnson voice from AC/DC, both testosterone driven.
Yeah, it's definitely some squeeze on them on the sons and right?
Yeah, that's pretty high pitch.
Yeah, it is, definitely. Jeans squeezing pretty tight.
Roland Jones says, and sorry about my voice, guys. It's allergies. It's Texas. I'm adjusting. Roland Jones says, how about Cheap Trick? They're still going. Dude's still smoking a cigarette while playing the drums.
So I forget what the drummer's name is.
Roland, what's the drummer's name?
If I remember right, this was like a couple of years ago. He split. He left.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe they worked it out.
I hope so.
Maybe they worked it out because they've been around for a minute, last I heard, and it was a couple of maybe something changed. He was out. I don't know if it was just differences over the partnership, which ways the partnership was slanted and input. What's that term? creative input and things like that, and creative credit, for material and stuff like that. I guess he felt pretty slighted, so he was out.
Wow.
I think that's how that went. But if they work that out, that's great.
It says Dax Nielsen is the new drummer. He says he has known the bandmates his whole life.
Okay. Yeah. So and unfortunately I can't remember who the drummer was before him, but yeah, they parted ways a couple years ago. Let's see, and then we'll just touch on this, and we'll call it a night, y'all. After, of course, I want to hear what you guys think about some stuff. Why did insurance companies cancel home fire policies months before this wildfire? I don't know, probably for the same reason they did it last time. Anyway, so I get it, I really do. The insurance companies are the bad guys, yada, yada, yada. And they did, in fact, cancel a bunch of fire, get out of my way ad. Oh man, no. Let me move that. Okay. Ads trying to jump in my way and stuff. Several private insurers have cut coverage in an at-risk area across California in the past 3 years, leaving homeowners scrambling to find options for coverage. Luckily, California has a state-sponsored backup plan that only costs them an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
California's FAIR plan, which works as an insurer of last resort in the state, has more than doubled its policies between 2020 and 2024, reaching a total of 452,000, as reported by Cap Radio. But people are still demonizing the insurance companies for these cancellations, especially now as 4 fires wreak havoc on the greater Los Angeles area. Let's see. But is it some sort of conspiracy theory? The question is asked. No, it's not. The reason for the insurance cut are twofold. The state is making it difficult for insurance companies to do business there through excessive regulation and fees. People need to understand that, man.
Yep.
As Thomas Sowell, lets us know, greed is not really how prices are set. Okay, and if you really want to make money, you charge the least you can, not the most you can. All right, you want to, or not maybe that's not to speak in the opposites of like saying not the least you can. Contrast. Of course you want to charge as much as you can, but you want to be able to charge as much as people are willing to pay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really what it comes down to. You want as many, unless you've got like some sort of niche product or service that you're only expecting certain people to pay for. Okay, that's like a minority instance. But for the most part, you want to be able to charge as much as the multitudes are willing to pay. Okay, while balancing that with trying to make it as inexpensive as possible to entice them to come and buy it. Get them in there and say, oh, that's a bargain. I better get that before that price is gone. I want to get that now. All right, that's how you make money. All right, charging the least amount, as less as you can, but at the same time charging as much as the multitudes are willing to pay for. All right, you shoot yourself in the foot by trying to gouge people, man. But at the same time, when people are out there complaining about, insurance monopolies and stuff like that, these same people who complain about insurance monopolies embolden the state to make it to where the insurance companies have monopolies, until ultimately the state itself becomes the monopoly.
Yep.
This is how fascism works. While they're trying to call us the fascists, these people are the fascist drones. All right. So yeah, insurance companies are made. They're made to charge these things. It's not like they do it because they want to. They want to make money. All right. And you make money by charging less, not charging more. The city of Los Angeles, the other reason, the city of Los Angeles has mismanaged resources in protecting these neighborhoods from the increasing risk of fire. So also, when you have these liberal nuts out there who make it difficult to put out fires, who make sure that the terrain has more stuff to burn because they don't want to put in the fire breaks, and you make the fire breaks by burning the old growth, controlled burns. You know, liberals won't let people do that.
Oh, yeah, you're talking 45, 50 years of this policy now, where you cannot burn anything. The controlled burns.
Yeah. It's total self-righteous stupidity.
Yes, it is.
But the worldview is stupid. Their objective and how they're reaching it isn't. All right, they're gonna do this burn, and I reckon they were planning to be able to do this burn and be able to get some more federal money, you know, to help out with this sort of stuff. They want to make sure that the resources aren't there to put this stuff out, you know. But they're thinking, okay, well, we're gonna need some federal finances to go ahead and deal with this. Come on, federal government, give us some more money. You know, and all this, but maybe they weren't planning on, you know, Trump being president or whichever. So,
right.
But they had to carry this out, and the thing is, y'all, they want to be able to do these hostile moves in California to achieve their goal of what they want California to be. You know, you got these arsonists that are out there. You know, who want to see things burn. Yep. You see people setting fires, man, while these fires are burning.
Tons of homeless people.
Yeah.
Around where these fires are all the time.
Yeah. Victims of what these liberal policies have done to their state. You know, they're just broken, man. They're just emotionally and mentally just messed up, man. And they just get out there and they're like, yeah, man, let it burn. Just let it burn.
Yep.
You know. What else does it say? What is it's something here about Newsom? Loss of insurance coverage in California has nothing to do with some conspiracy related to fires. This is coming from somebody named Shipwreck Crew. The California legislator and Governor Newsom have ruined the insurance market in California with regulations and requirements for coverage that make doing business unprofitable. Insurers have been pulling out of the California market one by one for years. For a decade, it has been more and more difficult and more costly to get full coverage for losses like this. They even went to the extent of setting up a state program where you buy basic fire coverage from the state. See what I'm telling you?
Yep.
You see what I'm telling you? From the state at ridiculous rates and bare minimum coverage, just so mortgage companies would lend money. You see, man, this is your fascism, man. They make it to where the insurance companies have to bear the stigma of being a monopoly.
Yep.
Get public opinion against them for being a monopoly. All right, keep the insurance companies from competing across state lines and stuff like that. Keep them from doing those things. This is how you keep your prices low. But see, that's not what these statists want, man. That's not what these Democrats want. So they make the insurance companies out to be the bad guys to where people are like, you know what? We need the government to do something about this.
Right.
Why can't we be insured by the full weight of the government? That's dependable, right? That's dependable. We'll make sure we'll get our insurance then if something happens. Yeah. So and no, what you'll end up getting is just being controlled by the state.
Yes.
Suckers. So let me see.
I wanted to add, it says here, the city has been meaning Pacific Palisades, that's where it started. Did you know it's going all the way up and burning Malibu too?
Oh, man.
That restaurant, Moonshadow?
What was that? Moonshadow. That would seem like, wasn't it another place before that?
Didn't we go there, Moonshadow?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it right now. Well, it's gone.
Oh, man.
Absolutely gone.
But it was taken over, though. Wasn't it? Moonshot. I remember it being called something else. And it was right there, like on that cliffs.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's got an older picture of the building in the 50s, and it's Cafe something.
So, yeah, it's definitely changed hand a few times, but I'm trying to remember, what was it called?
Cafe Big Rock Beach.
Oh, so give it a list of...
Big Rock Beach Cafe.
Big Rock... No, that wasn't it. Maybe between 2009, y'all, and 2016. It was something. It seemed like it was something else. And now I want to go look, but I don't want to have like a bunch of dead air. You know,
I know, right?
But I'm curious. But yeah, we've gotten to eat there, man. It was cool, man. It's just, it's on the cliffs, and that sucks, man.
Yeah. Does anybody know how this fire started? Because we've got a lot of friends and acquaintances in this area, like from Pacific Palisades to Malibu. And I haven't seen one person post how it started. Like a friend of ours, her kid's school completely burned down in Pacific Palisades, but I haven't heard how the fire started.
To ask why the fire started, I mean, of course it was global warming. But,
well, that's true. Yeah. Why should I even ask?
But I mean, hopefully, is there?
I'm sorry, I didn't finish reading. The city has been criticized for not filling critical water reservoirs. They've gotten record rainfalls, and they just let it go right back into the ocean.
Yeah, dude. When you got California, man, that talks about being having these droughts and stuff like that. Well, they don't have droughts because of global warming. They don't have droughts for any other reason except for it's a drought-prone state.
Right.
Okay. It's these areas, they're going as you go, like mid and southern. You start getting to these semi-arid regions, and they make it to where they suffer the effects of a drought-prone state.
Correct.
By not building dams.
Yes, they didn't capture the water. The fire hydrants are dry.
Yeah.
In LA County, in several of these very wealthy cities. There's homeless encampments all over LA County in the very wealthy areas with their open fire pits. There's power lines that haven't been maintained for decades. So, I mean, that's why the insurance companies pulled out. They've been pulling out. They're smart.
What's their good excuse for that? What, the Delta smelt?
The Delta smelt. And actually Trump did, how do you call it, truth. He did truth about that today, about how ridiculous Governor Newsom is with him drying out California by not capturing all the rainwater because of the Delta smelt. The fish.
Come on, man.
You reported on that back in 2010. That's 15 years ago.
And it hadn't gotten any better.
No, it's gotten a lot worse.
Just letting the water just go out there. It's like they won't build dams. You can't capture rainwater. It's like you can't capture rainwater on your own.
Not even on your own property. It's illegal.
Y'all, they're purposely. It's purpose. It's a purpose. I mean, hey, California, man. As you know how the saying, like, kind of, as if America goes, so goes the world. California has a big effect on Americans. And California is a lab of if they can bust down California, oh yeah, it's gonna mess with the rest of America too. And
absolutely.
I mean, but y'all, come on, man. Just you gotta. It's when you have people, and it's easier said than done, man. I'm trying to tell you, when you have these Democrats, man, look at the damage that they're able to do. And right under people's nose, man. It's like, do you not see the implications of what happens if you guys do this? You guys make it to where we have a water shortage, and we don't have to. All right, we don't have to have a water shortage. When you're looking at your supply for to be able to fight fires and stuff like that, and you're tapped. It's like, you don't think that something is being purposely done to set these areas up for something? Y'all, let me put it to you like this. As statist and regulation oriented as California is, how they gonna let these water reserves get that low for people to go to ensure the safety of people? Because it's all about safety, right? They're all about them regulations for safety, right? How you gonna let this happen? You know what I'm saying? Because it's done on purpose. So that's just who Democrats are, man. That's who they are. Yep. That's what they do, and that's who we're up against. Republicans do have to. Y'all, mainstream Republicans. This really is a case of cops and robbers. All right, it really is. When you're dealing with Democrats, you're not dealing with this other political party per se. It's not about them being an opposition or of a political party. Y'all, they really are criminals. You actually have to stop them from committing crimes against us. You have to actually stop them from making criminal loopholes in the law.
Yeah.
Criminal interpretations of law. Implementing perverse law that we have to live by. Okay? We actually have to stop them from doing these things. And I don't know if a lot of Republicans, they really understand that. They just see Democrats as just another political party or an ideology. No, dude, they're freaking criminals. Their mindset is criminal. Even if they're really nice. Even if they're really nice. You can go have a beer with some of them if you want. But their worldview is to make it policy to jack you. People get jacked under their policies.
Yep.
That's why, people say politics shouldn't be taken personal. And I get it. It's like, we should still be able to be friends, and because, that's what adults do. We can have our political differences, but adults should stay friends and all that sort of stuff. I get it, y'all, but the reason why it's personal is because these oppressive and perverted worldviews that, this person that you should be able to stay friends with, they want to make those things policy to be able to rule you with. They want you to be ruled by those policies. Those policies that they're going to go vote for. They're oppressive. That's what makes it personal. It's like, dude, you're going to vote for that?
Yeah.
Do you know what that's going to do to us?
Like the annual gas tax increase.
Yeah. It's like, you gonna vote for that?
Yeah, they voted on it, and then it was so awful because gasoline was getting so expensive. They actually had a vote 2 years later. The vote was, did you really mean to annually raise the gas tax? They voted for it again.
Yeah.
That's when you and I looked at each other and were like, we got to get out of here. These people are crazy.
Yeah. And like I said, having friends who are Democrat, we got friends who vote Democrat and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, if you're gonna vote for that, man, you're willfully making things hard on people. That's gonna make things hard on us, and it's for no good reason. There's no justification for it. So yeah, it does kind of get personal. Let's get a little bit personal. All right, y'all. That's what I've got for this edition of the Loft.
Jay,
what are you guys talking about?
Jay wanted a musical challenge. You got it, Jay?
What you got?
Before we head out, type it in. We do have time. And Roland and Sketchy were going back and forth about the demon aliens.
Demon aliens? Uh-oh. Is that a band? No.
It might as well be, right? I didn't know that the fire had spread that much, though, in California.
It don't take long. And they make sure that it doesn't.
Yeah, that's true. It's just scary. Yeah, Jay says, look how San Fran cleaned up for the Chinese delegation. So just tell Sacramento that the Chinese are coming again. Right?
Yum yum? I mean, fang fang.
Remember that congressman?
Right? You can't say that. Can't say that ish. Yum yum. Okay. Did we get our music?
Yeah, he says dueling banjos with David Gilmour, and he's typing. Sing in a phone booth with Joe Cocker.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna go with David Gilmour.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I dig Dave.
Learning more about you every day.
David, he's got it, man. And as much as I like the song, I forgot what it's called. He's got a new song out, man, and I'm like, all right, man, it's pretty good. Making sure he's maintaining that Dave Gilmour vibe, and at the same time, showing that he can do something new and keep it good.
That's cool.
All right. Anything else going on out there?
Yeah, but we could be here all night.
All right, y'all.
Any shout outs in Instagram yet?
Yeah, well, I think fortunately, those who tuned in are still tuned in, and that's awesome. And thank you, Centos Human, for joining in. Thank you so much. BronzeSerpentMedia.com. Hope you guys come there and tune in. That's the place to keep track of everything I'm trying to do, y'all. So thank you guys so much. Drop that buck in the bucket and go on and help keep your bro Zoe on the go, because we do want to grow Bronze Serpent Media and bring you guys some other, interesting productions. And with that being said, y'all have a groovy rest of your evening. I guess I'm kind of talking to myself because it's just telling me right now that Instagram is disconnected. Well, fine. I was leaving anyway. Whatever. Bye.
Wow.